All right. For a different perspective, I am now joined by David Feldman, who's the host of the David Feldman Show, co-host of the Ralph Nader Radio Hour, has been nominated for 22 Emmys and won a few, written for Bill Maher, Triumph the Insult Comic Dog, and most importantly, I now want, as I understand it, is now a Trump supporter.
Well, I want to tell you how I got there.
Okay.
Because I agree with everything Jeff is saying, but he's a little too rigid. One of the things watching that clip from the Chicago 7 is everybody evolved. Rennie Davis evolved. He became a bit to the right. Jerry Rubin, before he got hit by a car, was more conservative. You have to evolve. And I'm a Bernie bro from way back. Before you were born, I supported Bernie.
Oh.
And I have to say, once Obama put the fingers on the scale for Joe, I like Joe Biden. I agree with everything Jeff was saying. I like Joe Biden. In fact, I like Joe Biden more than I like Bernie. And I'm a Bernie bro. But I think Joe... I was wrong about Joe. I was wrong. I watched him in the debate. He told us everything I wanted to hear. He told me climate change is an existential threat to our planet. And I like his plan. I do. I like his plan. He's going to keep fracking. He's pro-fracking. And that's smart because he's doing jujitsu. Did you ever study martial arts?
I sure didn't, no.
Okay. He's doing martial arts, jiu-jitsu with climate change. If climate change is happening quickly, you counter that energy by going slowly. I think that's great. I think that's smart. And I was wrong about Bernie, so I'm evolving, just like your previous guest. I always thought universal health care was a human right. Joe Biden has taught me that universal health insurance is a human right.
Well,
I like
access to health insurance, I think, yeah.
Universal access to potentially getting your illnesses taken care of through an insurance company is a human right if you have enough money to pay for it, as well as the surprise bills. That flows off the tongue better than universal health care as a human right.
Okay, so everything you're saying makes perfect sense. But I'm still confused about how you're voting, because from what you're describing, it sounds like you're a Biden bro now. What's the
we vote. Our votes are secret. They're still secret in this country. So what I like about Biden that I now looking back really don't like about Bernie is that Biden reminds me that we're better than Republicans. And that knowing we're better than Republicans is enough. That is how you fight fascists.
Oh.
By knowing you're better than they are. I'm older than you. My father fought the fascists. And the way we defeated Hitler is we went high. And when you go low as Michelle Obama, who I think presidential material, I love the Obamas. They're fantastic. When they go low, you go high. And I thought Biden at the debate Thursday was great because he didn't go into the gutter. And that's what I'm worried about. More than climate change, more than providing health care to the millions of Americans who are dying because they don't have health care. More important than that is that we don't allow our party to go into the gutter, because that's where the Republicans live there. Don't give them that fight. You have to play to a larger audience, Professor Ben. You have to play to history. And I don't want to look back. I don't want my grandparents or my grandkids to look back, or my grandparents to look down on us. My grandparents are looking down on us. They're still alive. They just are very condescending. I don't want our grandchildren to look back at this moment of time and say, we went into the gutter.
Okay, so it sounds like you love Biden.
I don't love Biden. I'm evolving.
Okay.
And he's taught me that it's good enough to know that you have arrows in your quiver and that you could use them, but you're a better person if you walk away and leave those arrows on the ground so the Republicans can pick them up and aim them at you. That way you haven't surrendered the moral high ground, and you can sleep at night knowing that you didn't go into the gutter the way those Republicans do, just to save 100 million people from dying from COVID.
No, sure. I could definitely see why civility is more important than that.
Civility is way more important.
Okay, but I guess what confuses me now is it sounds like you're making a really powerful case for Biden, that it's not.
Well, I love Joe more now than I loved Bernie, and I'm a Bernie bro from way back, way back.
Yeah.
But Bernie is not a Democrat. That's, he caucuses with the Democrats. Joe's a Democrat, and we believe in science, and here's something that I don't like about Bernie. Looking back,
what's that?
He brought something out in me that I'm ashamed about. Joe reminds us that we're better than the Republicans, right?
Mm.
So when you attack Trump, you're punching down. And I'm a comedy writer, and you never punch down. We punch up, always punch up. Donald Trump, Mike Pence, these are sociopaths. They're sick. To attack them, you're punching down, and that's morally reprehensible. We're better than that. And that's why if Trump, this is very important to me. This is an existential crisis, Professor.
Mm.
The soul of our country is at stake. Democracy is at stake. November 3rd, that evening, if Donald Trump declares victory prematurely on election night, don't go into the gutter. Give it to him. He lives for the fight. He wants a fight. That's what he lives for. Walk away from it.
Okay, so I think maybe now I finally understand, because it sounded like for the last few minutes that you're actually making a much stronger case for Biden than Jeff made. He was making this narrow tactical argument about advancing the goals of the far left, but you think that Biden is great, and he's doing exactly what he should be doing.
He's threading the needle. He's threading the needle.
Yeah.
It's tough.
I see that. But that I didn't understand, because my understanding had been that you don't support Biden, that you actually support Donald Trump now.
No. I'm saying if he declares victory November 3rd, walk away. Walk away from the fight. Do nothing. I'm not going to tell you who I'm voting for. I'm a Bernie bro. You know that. My eyes well up when I look at the clips from the Chicago 7 movie. I mean, I'm a Bernie bro. I believe in everything Bernie believes in. But Joe was a smarter politician. Here's the mistake Bernie made. And I love Bernie. Anybody running for office can make promises he can't keep. Trump, Bernie, I'm proud of Joe Biden. He's promising nothing. That's how you win. No Medicare for all, no end to fracking, no end to the wars that are just going on and on and on. That's how you run for office, by being honest with the American people and saying nothing is going to fundamentally change if I'm elected. The American voter, look at how the American voter, look at the condition of this country right now. They've had enough change with Trump. Look at the COVID-19. There's a pandemic. We're in a depression. And now Joe Biden's going to come in and say, I'm going to change everything. We've had enough change. We want just things to stay the same right now.
To stay the same as they are right now.
We've had enough change under. Why can't you people on the left see this? There's been enough change. What we need is somebody to come in and keep things the way they are. And that's why Joe Biden is going to win.
No, that makes sense. I mean, if there's one thing that motivates people to vote, it's keeping things exactly the way they are. Uh,
And
although
it's martial arts, which you don't understand. Joe, middle class Joe,
yeah,
is actually an agent of change. He's saying, if you don't want anything to change, vote for me and I'll change things so we can go back to a time when nothing ever changed. He's going to take us back to
okay, so
Obama
he is going to
when nothing changed. So he is an agent of change by changing nothing.
Is he at least going to change things back to the way they were before?
Nothing is going to change, and it will be imperceptible. Any change that does take place, we can relax. We can take our hands off the wheel and let Joe drive because we have a Democrat. And we don't have to worry. That's what was so great about Obama. Yeah, there was change, but it was imperceptible. You didn't notice what was going on.
Oh, no, sure. That makes sense. So
I want imperceptible change. That's
okay.
what I'm looking for.
Okay.
And I don't want to say things right now that I will regret. I don't want to antagonize the far right because I'm better than they are. And I'm not going to go into the gutter with them. They live for that stuff.
Could we at least vote against them, or would that be too much in the gutter?
Well, you're taunting them.
By voting against them.
Well, I'm just saying, look, I'm not saying who I'm voting for. I love Joe Biden, but I'm not sure poking a stick at a fascist is the smartest thing to do. So maybe if you kind of appease Trump and his, all you have to do is make bullies happy and they calm down. These are bullies. And they're looking for a fight. If you don't give them a fight, you give them what they want, eventually they get sated and they stop. And that's why I like Joe Biden, because I know on November 3rd, when Trump declares victory, even though it looks like he lost, Joe's going to walk away for the good of the country. And I like that.
And that will be good.
This is what I like about Joe Biden. He and Kamala are they're both politicians. Joe Biden is a man of principles who will never allow his principles to get in the way of his principles. So I'm
sorry, David. I don't think I understood this. That he won't allow his principles to get in the way of his principles.
Yes, because he's a man of principle.
Wouldn't a man of principle stick to his principles?
If his principles are not to stick to his principles because they get in the way of his principles, then no. That makes Joe Biden a man of principles. And that's why I'm very optimistic. We'll get him again in 4 years is what I'm saying. We're going to get them in 4 years.
Okay.
Walk away. And I'm a Bernie bro from way back.
So
I want everything Bernie wants, but not if it means, gumming up the works. And that's why I like Pelosi and Schumer. They're letting Amy Coney Barrett through. They could have done things to stop her. They could have impeached Bill Barr. They could have impeached Trump again. They could have demanded a quorum, but they don't want to go. That's what McConnell wants. McConnell wants the fight. Let him have a conservative Supreme Court. We're better than they are.
Okay.
We're better than the Republicans. That should be good enough.
Okay, so because you love the Democratic Party, and which if there are two things this show stands for, it's loving the Democratic Party and appeasing the far right. Because you love the Democratic Party, and because you think the Democratic Party is so much better than the Republicans, the right solution is to let the Republicans continue to govern the country for the next 4 years.
No. If you want to torture the Republicans, they live for the fight.
Okay.
Don't give them the fight.
If you just let them have justice and let them steal the election, then
eventually they're going to say, as all bullies, as all fascists do, I've eaten too much. I'm stuffed. I'm done. Why can't you see that?
Probably because I never studied martial arts.
It's martial arts. It's how we defeated Hitler.
Did we defeat Hitler through martial arts?
We did. We let him. It's like we treated him like a child. We treat, and eventually a child has a temper tantrum, and they exhaust themselves, and then it's over. That's how you defeat fascism.
So that's
everybody vote, though. It's very important to vote.
It's very important to vote, but it's also
and we'll get them 4 years from now.
Okay. So
obviously, there's nothing we can do about. I mean, we're going to win. I know this is the great thing. We're going to win on November 3rd. Trump's going to declare victory, and then he and the Republican Party are going to spend the next 4 years haunted by the fact that this time they lost the Electoral College and the popular vote.
Okay.
Yep. So you know that they're really upset right now. The Republicans are very upset that they lost the popular vote. That Trump, he is haunted. He has spent 4 years overcompensating for the fact that he lost the popular vote. This time around, he's going to be beside himself that he lost the popular vote and the Electoral College, and that the Supreme Court had to step in at the last minute and give him the presidency. Would you want to spend the 4 years, the next 4 years, knowing that you don't deserve to be president?
Did
give it to him. Give it to him. Let him suffer. I feel sorry for him. He's sick.
Okay, all right. My apologies. I think I misunderstood and misrepresented your position earlier. It's nothing so crude as that you support Trump or anything.
I hate the man. I'm a Bernie bro from way back. I despise Donald Trump.
Right? No, that's fair.
And I think the best way to torture him is let him
be president for the next.
Keep the Oval Office, and with this miasma hanging over you, knowing that you lost and you don't belong there. That's got to be very upsetting.
Oh, okay. All right. So this is
a way of torturing the man, quite frankly.
This is my fault. This is because I didn't study martial arts, so I don't understand.
Well, it's books. You see, you're steeped in books. That's your problem.
Okay. All right. So I just want to make sure I understand what my sensei is telling me here. That what you have to do, it's very important to vote for Trump, so that when which will because that will mean that Trump will have to go low and steal the election.
Right.
And then when Biden lets him do that, then the shame of having done something so dishonorable will really eat away at him during the next 4 years when he continues to.
And he'll overcompensate. And by overcompensating, I mean he'll pretty much destroy everything. And finally, because, do you believe in accelerationism? Do we want him
to destroy everything?
Yeah, I'm an accelerationist.
Oh,
do you know about accelerationism?
Please explain.
Well, the way, what happened during the Weimar Republic? You remember when Hitler was running for chancellor?
Heard of him, yes.
Do you remember?
Yep.
Against von Papen?
Yes.
And von Papen was kind of like a Nazi, but he wasn't officially a Nazi. And a lot of people, and I get this, they said, you know what? Forget von Papen, give it to Hitler. Let things get so bad, it becomes settled law that the far right is a disaster. And people learn from history. And I think this is what's going to happen. America has a proud tradition of learning from our past mistakes. So, after Watergate, we passed meaningful campaign finance law that I haven't looked it up lately, but I think it's still working.
I think that's
and
right.
We learned from Vietnam.
That's right.
Right? Remember the Powell Doctrine? Never get yourself into a war without a clear and present idea of how you want to get out of that war. The Powell Doctrine, remember that?
Yeah.
We learned from history in the United States.
Okay.
But I want a big lesson. I want this country to have a big, we've had a 4-year lesson, but I think another 4 years will finally put the final nails in the coffin for the Republican Party.
All right. So just like we learned from Vietnam, and that's why we've only been in Afghanistan for 19 years rather than 29.
Well, that's different. Afghanistan is different. It's a different country.
Oh, okay.
We didn't go back to you notice we're not fighting Vietnam now? Have you noticed that?
That's true.
We learned from Vietnam.
There are
Don't
0
fight a
US
war in
troops
Vietnam.
Okay. All right. So similarly, the lesson that we'll learn after, much like when von Papen made Hitler chancellor anyway, when Biden lets Trump steal the election, take office anyway, the lesson that we'll learn from 4 years is that Donald Trump as an individual should not be president anymore.
We will learn, and I'll tell you right now, the Trump family, never again with the Trump family. But it's going to take another 4 years.
Okay. We need
for
4
us to
more
say
years
never
Trump,
again with
but
the Trump
we'll
family.
know not to elect Eric or Don Jr.
Right.
Jared, is Jared okay?
I none of them. I think the Lincoln Project guys, who I really like,
Of course, yes.
they're smart. They love America,
Yes.
and we should listen to them. We should listen to everybody in the Lincoln Project, and that's who the Democratic Party should become, because they know how to win. If we win, it's going to be because of the Lincoln Project.
Okay, so the goal is that Trump can be president for 4 more years, and
But
then,
we're giving it to him. We're giving it to him.
and then what we'll learn from that is that
Is
Trump
never elect a Trump again.
never elected Trump, and instead,
And it's settled law. It's just settled. Like everybody will agree. Okay, no more Trumps. That's worth 4 more years to me.
because otherwise, if Trump isn't president for the next 4 years, then we might get Eric or Don Jr. or somebody in 2020.
Right.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. And then,
And if we give him another 4 years, how old is Trump?
it's his mid-70s, I think.
So like another 4 years after that. I mean, I hope the Secret Service doesn't knock on my door for saying this.
Mm.
I think giving Donald Trump 4 additional years after the next 4, I think the Secret Service would be coming. I think it's so dangerous for his health to say. I mean, I can't even articulate what I'm thinking, because I don't think he could survive
So
4 years after that. And I have to say, it's vindictive, to be honest with you. I hope the Secret Service doesn't.
Okay. So
you know where I'm going with this. Another 4 years after the next 4 years, forget it.
So the strategy is that it's important that Trump be installed back in power again, because that way he'll work himself to death.
Well, I don't want to say that.
Okay.
But you said that, and I don't want the Secret Service
and then
knocking
after
on
that,
my door, because the Secret Service loves Donald Trump. The Secret Service and their families, they love Donald Trump. Whenever you go to a Trump rally and you talk to the Secret Service people, their families love Donald Trump. They love how the Secret Service is dealing with COVID-19. They're going for, the Secret Service families are employing herd immunity to defeat COVID-19 thanks to Donald Trump. They love Donald Trump.
Okay, well, as long as the end result of this will be in 2028, we can have a Democrat in office, and that Democrat.
Oh, but by then, I mean, come on.
Will be a Lincoln Project kind of.
Elliot Abrams would make a good.
Okay, president.
He's strong on defense. Elliot Abrams. I like Elliot Abrams, and that he used to be a Democrat. That.
So he used to be a Democrat. So and he
maybe Bill Kristol. I don't know how old Bill Kristol is, but Bill Kristol comes from a long line of Trotskyites. Why not let them take over the Democratic Party?
Okay. All right. Yeah, no, that's fair enough. All right.
Anyway, let me just say this.
Okay.
This is the most important election of our lifetime. Vote as though your life depends upon it, because it does. It does. Vote. This is an existential crisis. Democracy, America's soul is at stake. Vote.
Okay, so we're saving America's soul by having Biden let Trump steal the election so that in 4 years,
we'll get him again in 4 years, but vote. Vote. It's important to vote.
Okay. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Professor.
I love you, David.
I love you too. Thank you. I'm not going to say it. I'm going to stay in character. I'm staying in character.
David Feldman, listen to.
As Michael Brooks used to end these, he'd go, I fucking hate you. Whenever I did this guy, Michael would say, I fucking hate you. All right. Thank you. All right. You were right. You were right. Good call. Thank you.
Thanks, David.
Bye.
Bye.